Hello, everyone. Canada immigration has done it again. I know we're all excited with the announcement yesterday. 90,000 new immigrants are going to be allowed to gain permanent residence in Canada, working in essential services. So this is amazing. I have so many, let's go back a few months ago when 27,000, almost 30,000 persons were invited under express entry under the Canadian Experience class. That was exciting, but that has tripled through 90,000 new persons could be admitted started May. The programs will be in effect until November or till they have reached their caps. So this is amazing. So with these new programs that the immigration ministers announced, Canada will be able to reach its immigration intake quota for 2021. This is amazing, and this is really great for persons who are here in Canada, who've been working on work permits, or students who've graduated and working with some uncertainty with the pandemic and everything. This is surely an awesome announcement. I'm doing this video today to give you a bit of understanding about the requirements for the different programs that were announced, because I've been getting a lot of inquiries, and it's more efficient if I respond in this form, because there's so many persons who are asking questions. So go through this video. Coming up, I will be going through the different programs, the eligibility requirements. So stay tuned, and hopefully this will help you to understand. Before that, the caps for each category include 20,000 applications for temporary workers in healthcare, 30,000 applications for temporary workers in other selected essential occupations, and 40,000 applications for international students who graduated from a Canadian institution. So that's 90,000 in total. I know the race is on. There are a lot of people who are gearing up ready to apply when these programs open in May. So let me get you ready. And at the end of the video, if you have questions about your personal eligibility, please feel free to contact us to schedule an appointment. But I hope this video will help you to understand if you're eligible or not. All right, stay tuned. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so the programs announced are temporary public policies to facilitate the granting of permanent residence for foreign nationals in Canada with recent Canadian work experience in essential occupations, and for recent graduates of Canadian post-secondary institutions, for French-speaking individuals in these categories. Please note that these programs are for individuals outside of Quebec. So if you're living in Quebec, you do not qualify for these new programs. All right, so let's look at the temporary policy for foreign nationals in Canada with recent Canadian work experience in essential occupations. I know it's a lot of occupations, but I'm going to try my best to run through it. So if you hear your occupation, then definitely contact us right away to get started. Now, in addition to the occupation, you have to meet other requirements. So you have to be employed in Canada at the time that your application for permanent residence is received. You have to be working under a valid work permit. You have to also complete a language proficiency test, IELTS or CELPIP, with a benchmark of at least 4 in official language in each skill area. So reading, writing, listening, and speaking. You must be residing in Canada with valid temporary status or be eligible to restore your status. You must be physically present in Canada at the time of your application. Your application is approved. You must intend to reside in a province other than Quebec. You must have accumulated at least 1 year of full-time work experience or the equivalent in part-time in Canada in the eligible occupations. So in the 3 years preceding the date when you apply for permanent residence. So if you got this work experience 5 years ago, you wouldn't qualify. So it has to be 1 full year, 1 year of full-time experience or the equivalent in part-time, which would be about 1,560 hours, the equivalent in part-time. Now, let's go through the occupations. They have those here. So nurses, nursing coordinators and supervisors, registered nurses and registered psychiatric nurses, specialist physicians, general practitioners and family physicians, dentists, optometrists, chiropractors, allied primary health practitioners, other professional occupations in health, diagnosing and treating, pharmacists, dietitians and nutritionists, audiologists, sorry, and speech language pathologists, psychotherapists, occupational therapists, other professional occupations in therapy and assessment, medical lab technicians, and pathologist assistants, respiratory therapists, clinical perfusionists, and I can't pronounce these words. Medical radiation technologists, medical sonographers, cardiology technologists, denturists, dental hygienists and dental therapists, dental technologists, technicians and lab assistants, opticians, practitioners of natural healing, licensed practical nurses, paramedical occupations, massage therapists, other occupations in therapy and assessment, dental assistants, nurses aid, orderlies, and patient service associates, other assisting occupations in support of health services, psychologists, social workers, family, marriage, and other related counselors, health policy researchers, consultants, and program officers, social and community service workers, home support workers, housekeepers, and related occupations. So that's going to be the big ticket right there, because that occupation covers the personal support workers, the development support workers, and so on, persons working in the nursing homes, in individual homes, and so on. So the other eligible occupations classified as essential, believe it or not, include sales support occupations. So cashiers, service station attendants. I mean, if you work at a gas station, you're qualifying. This is amazing. Store shelf stockers, clerks, and fillers. If you work in a store stocking the shelf, isn't Canada amazing? And other sales related occupations. Also persons in industrial, electrical, and construction trades. So contractors and supervisors, contract in metal forming, shaping, and erecting trades and related occupations, contractors and supervisors, electrical trades, and telecommunications occupations, contractors and supervisors in pipe fitting trades, carpentry trades, tool and die, machinists, sheet metal workers, boiler makers, iron workers, welders, industrial electricians, power system electricians, electrical power line and cable workers, telecommunications line and cable workers, cable television service and maintenance technicians, plumbers, gas fitters, carpenters, cabinet makers, bricklayers, tile setters, plasterers, drywall installers, roofers and shinglers, glaziers, insulators, floor covering installers, painters and decorators. Oh my God, it doesn't end. There's more. Residential and commercial installers and servicers, waterworks and gas maintenance workers, pest controllers and fumigators, longshore workers, material handlers. Oh my God, we're going. There's more. So under the transport and heavy equipment operation and related maintenance occupations, we have transport truck drivers. Come on now. Bus drivers, subway operators and transit operators, taxi and limousine drivers and chauffeurs, delivery and courier service drivers, heavy equipment operators, except for crane, public works maintenance equipment operators and related workers, railway yard and track maintenance workers, water transport deck and engine room crew, boat and cable ferry operators, air transport ramp attendants, other automotive mechanical engine installers and servicers. Also, we have trade helpers under construction, laborers, and related occupations include construction trade helpers and laborers, public works and maintenance laborers, harvesting laborers, railway and motor transport laborers, landscaping and grounds maintenance laborers, mine laborers, oil and gas drilling, and so on. So there is a lot more here to break it down a little bit, but there's also butchers, home child care providers, managers in horticulture, French immersion school teachers, airline ticket service agents, security guards, customer service representatives, other service and information services representatives, laborers in food and beverage processing, laborers in fish and seafood processing. Wow. So that is most of the occupations that qualify under the Canadian Work Experience in essential occupations. So if you've worked at least a year in one of those occupations, you have full-time work experience or the equivalent of part-time work experience in one of those occupations. You're employed in Canada at the time when you're submitting your application for permanent residence. You've worked under the required work permit. Another question I need to answer for some of my clients is whether refugee claimants working, they're not working on temporary status, but if refugee claimants would qualify. By the tone of this policy, it doesn't seem that refugee claimants qualify, but that's something I will definitely have to confirm because it's not highlighted in the policy that they will be included in this. So you must be aware though that there was an announcement last year for refugee claimants who were working on the front lines during the first wave of the pandemic. So if you worked on the front lines in certain occupations like personal support workers, and between March 2021 and August 2021, then that specific program is specifically for refugee claimants. This new announcement doesn't seem to be including refugee claimants, but I could be wrong. That's something I will confirm for sure. Other occupations include mail, postal and related workers. So the mailman, if you're working as a mail deliverer, oh my God, letter carriers, couriers, retail salespersons, cleaners, retail light duty cleaners, specialized cleaners, janitors, general farm workers. Oh my God, how many inquiries I've been getting about persons in Canada on a farm work and they don't qualify for so many other programs. They're included in this. Nursery and greenhouse workers, fishing vessel deckhands, trappers and hunters. Oh my God, this is all in the fishing industry. Also, managers in agriculture. I think I went through this already. Laborers, yes. So those, I forgot to mention the couriers, the letter carriers, the janitors, the cleaners, the nursery, the general farm workers. So that is very important to note if you work in those areas too, you do qualify. So let's look at the requirements for the Canadian post-secondary graduates. I know Canadian persons who have invested so much time and money in studying in Canada are really, really excited to hear about this program. So let's dive into the policy requirements. So you have to have completed prior to the date on which your application for permanent residence is received and no later than January 2017. So a program of study in one of the following designated learning institutions in Canada. So you have to have completed your program after January 2017, not prior to. And it has to be at a designated learning institution. And those designated learning institutions must be a public post-secondary institution, such as a college, trade, technical school, university, or in Quebec, the CEGEP. A private post-secondary school in Quebec that operates under the same rules, regulations, or public institutions in Quebec also qualify if you studied at one of those institutions. A private or public post-secondary institution in Quebec offering qualifying programs of 900 hours or longer, leading to a diploma of vocational studies or an attestation of vocational specialization. So if you did that program, if you studied at one of those institutions, you do qualify as well. If you studied at a Canadian private institution authorized by the provincial statute to confer degrees under provincial law, but only if the program of study completed was a degree as authorized by the province, which may not include all programs or study offered by a private institution. So if you went to a school that is a privately funded school, you have to have completed specific programs to qualify. If you went to a public post-secondary institution, then that's great, you do qualify. Or I mentioned earlier the qualifications if you studied in Quebec. If you've been granted one of the following credentials following the completion of your program from the eligible institution that we just mentioned, so you would have to have graduated with the following credentials. One, a degree, could be an associate degree, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, or a doctorate. It must be a degree issued on completion of a program that lasts at least 8 months in duration. If you completed a degree, diploma, certificate, or attestation issued on completion of a program of any duration leading to an occupation in a skilled trade. So if you did a degree or a diploma or certificate, attestation, any program you did that leads to an occupation in skilled trades, that qualifies. One or more diploma, certificate, attestation where the following conditions are met. So I won't go into those conditions. We can definitely discuss those on a one-on-one consultation. If you must have been authorized pursuant to the Act and regulations to study throughout your education in Canada, so you must have been studying on a valid study permit. You must be employed in Canada with a valid let me correct that. So a valid study permit, but there are persons who are authorized to study without a study permit. So it must have been authorized, though, under the Act and regulations to study for that educational program. So you must be employed in Canada with a valid permit or authorization to work at the time your application for permanent residence received, and you cannot be self-employed unless you're working as a medical doctor in a free-for-service arrangement with a health authority. You must have attained a level of proficiency in a language test, whether for English, at a benchmark of 5 in each official language. So you could do a CELPIP or IELTS test. You need a minimum of 5 in each skill area: reading, listening, writing, and speaking. Reside in Canada with valid temporary resident status, or be able to restore your status, and you must be physically present in Canada at the time of your application for permanent residence, the time that your application for permanent residence is received. And when the application is approved. So you have to be physically here. You must intend to live in a province or territory other than Quebec. So you cannot be intending to live in Quebec, and so on. So it seems like those are the major, a lot of questions I'm getting is if the students under this program need to be working in essential services. So now, no, it doesn't seem you need to be working in essential services. You must have met the education qualifications that I mentioned, and it says you must be employed with a valid work permit. At the time of your application, it doesn't say that you need to be working in essential service. But this program is very new. They'll definitely issue more details, and if that is the case, I will definitely clarify. It mentioned if you studied and you're working in the skilled trades. So those occupation under the skilled trades, if you studied in a skilled trade, if you completed a program that led to a skilled trade occupation, the eligible skilled trades are those that fall under Major Group 72 under the NOC, so electrical, industrial, and construction trades. So those I mentioned earlier, it's basically the same ones: the plumbers, the carpenters, the bricklayers, the tile setters, the electricians, the power systems, the iron workers, roofers, insulators, the flooring guys, the painters. Those guys fall under that category. And we have the Major Group 73, the maintenance and equipment operation trades. Those are included as well. And Major Group 82, supervisors and technical occupations in natural resources, agriculture, and related production. So the agricultural groups. And Major Group 92, processing, manufacturing, and utilities supervisors and central control operators. So those supervisors in those different industries. Also Major Group 632, chefs and cooks are also eligible under this. And butchers and bakers, major group in minor group, 633, and minor group 632 for chefs and cooks. So bakers, butchers, meat cookers, meat cutters. Oh my God, I'm making so many mistakes this morning. I'm just too excited. So yeah, those are the occupations that qualify if a foreign national studied in completed a study program that led to one of those skilled trade occupation. And for other international graduates who are working in Canada, it hasn't specified here if they should be in specific occupations. So I'm assuming at this point that you do not need to be in a specific occupation. But as I said, as more details are presented, if this changes, I will definitely clarify. Again, foreign refugee claimants, it doesn't seem that refugee claimants are included under this category. I'm not going to go in detail regarding the French speaking because I know that majority of individuals who qualify under one of these two specific programs. But if you're a French speaking individual and you want to confirm your eligibility, definitely give us a call, contact us by email, by message, by WhatsApp, by phone, so that we could definitely confirm your eligibility as an individual. Thank you. And if you have questions, I'm here for you guys. Awesome. Have a good one.